And it should be good, nice and stuffed down. Okay. Much as I work with fabric on these albums, I really don't know how to tell if a fabric is right side or not. I usually just guess half the time. So we're just going to put it out so we can cut it. Just make sure you only have one layer and you're not accidentally cutting more than what you wanted to. Been there, done that. And I'm going to leave a pretty good bit around the edges to work with, because we need extra fabric to put over our hands. And I'm going to mark it with my my ruler and a pencil. I'm going to estimate maybe about an inch around all four corners. So I'm going to mark it and then cut that out. I don't know if that's good. Okay, so we got our hand back. So decide which side of the fabric you want facing up. Grab some paper clips, a pin, a clamp, book. Let's see. I got some little bitty clamps and some. Got fabric clamps. Those clamps, these clamps. But grab some extra pieces of cardstock, because they will make a mark on your fabric. Oh, here's a couple little pieces. We just want to make sure that we don't accidentally move it too far. Your fabric, that is. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. I'll be able to see it easier. And go ahead and center it about an inch on all sides. Then I'm just going to fold it over and put a piece of chipboard on the front, and then put a cloud. I'll use these. And that way, as we're trying to do the hand part, when we're pulling and moving, we want to make sure that we don't pull it too much, that we don't leave enough fabric for the other side. If that makes sense, I hope. Alright, so we have our pieces there. So we're going to fold this back, and I'm going to start from the inside going out. Use Fabri-Tac and find like a bone folder. The Martha Stewart, my score machine has a really, scoreboard has a really good edge on it. I'm actually going to use these. They're for sculpting clay. And when we get our glue down, we don't want to put a lot, because we don't want it to bleed through. I'm going to skewer, a little wooden skewer with the pointy tip and a flat tip. So I'm going to use that to move the glue around inside the finger impressions. So try not to be put too much. I think I'm going to start just putting it in the impressions. I know it's going to get everywhere else, but even this little one on the wrist. Alright, I'm going to take my pinky. I got a paper. I'm just going to try and knock that down a bit so it's not gathered too much. I just want to make sure that the glue isn't kind of glopped up in one place and mess up between our mess up our fabric. Okay, I'm going to clean that off. We're going to put over our fabric and we're going to start pushing down on that hand, and I'm going to use your bone folder or whatever you want to use to start trying putting that inside the cracks of the finger. Go. Well, I think this one's not even thin enough. Just find out whatever you can. I know what would work. If you have a Cricut machine, I have all these tools. Let's see. I'm going to try this one. Just push it down in there. Yeah, this one works much better. So needless to say, this one's going to take a while. It's a labor of love. So I'm just going to play some music and y'all just watch me as I try to get mine shaped. let that dry, and I'm going to move on to the next step. We'll start working on our pages. All right. So grab your 3 pages, your chipboard, and grab some of your white or cream colored. Let me get everything together and then I'll come back. Okay, so I couldn't leave it alone. So I went and looked at the picture, which is the attachment that y'all downloaded, and I missed some, hold on. I missed some details in the hand. Well, I can't get high enough on this thing, come on. Alright, so underneath the thumb here, I missed another little design, so I'm going to hold where this is tucked in so it doesn't pull it out. And get that one. Let me try this thicker one. Sorry, I'll show you in a second. So we forgot that one. I forgot that one. So go ahead and keep referring back to your picture if you didn't think of it already. And I have glue all the way the outer edge, so that on the mama's hand, there's an indentation right here. So we just need to be careful not to pull the baby too much. I guess we can do some glue in that later. Just want to make sure all the edges are nice and not really worried about the bottom just yet. But I did miss this one that I wanted y'all to see. And please be careful not to put too much glue in, because it'll mess your... I'm just going to hold it in there for a little while. Come on. I hope I got enough glue in it. There we go. So just make sure you got all of them and that you didn't miss any. Alright, I believe my little baby fist is dried enough that we can continue. Got all my little tools. And let's pull back carefully. And always keep aware that you're not pulling too much thread from the edges. Well, I'm going to have to undo these to get to the other side. We'll put our glue down and then put it back. Alright, don't pull with your baby bump. Fist, sorry. I don't know why I keep wanting to call it a baby bump. Okay, so I'm going to get inside all the little hand from the thumb, all the little ones for the finger, make sure I get around the outside. got mine dried, and it's about as good as it's going to get. I am happy with it. Whoops. So let's go ahead and pull our fabric around to the front, or to the inside, and then we'll fasten it down. This little 1/4 inch, I want to make sure that the fabric is glued down to that piece well on both sides, so it'll give us that nice little indentation whenever we close it. So don't put any glue there at the moment. We're going to go ahead and start on this end. So I'm just going to hold my fabric and flip it around. Now we're going to need to pull it pretty tight, and we did leave extra fabric, so you may need to trim some of it down, but I'm not going to put anything past this point. I'm going to start here. And I'm just going to use my Fabri-Tac. We're going to have to keep flipping it over, making sure that there's no wrinkles in the front. Yeah, I want to get it pretty snug. Put a little bit more glue. So pull it tight and hold that down. Like I said before, this fabric is really stretchy. I'm just going to check it. And we got wrinkles, so let's try, and I think that might go away whenever we do the top. Yeah, we'll just pull the top really tight in the bottom. Alright, let's go ahead and put it in this little 1/4 inch that we put that score. I'm not going to put a lot, but I do want it to adhere there well. I'm going to put it on both sides of the spine, and I'm going to rub it down with my pinky a little bit. Okay. I'm just looking at the top and the bottom. And I'm going to push down where that glue is, wherever it's at. Okay, it's over here, I think. Peek. Okay, it's here and here. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to cut a little bit of this excess off of the corner. And then put our glue. I'm going to start from the spine and give it a good little tug. see how it's going. I got a little bit of a gap right there, so I'm going to pull it some more. Oops. Well, it still doesn't want to fix itself. Let's see if I can put some glue there and that's much better. Well, let's go ahead and do this corner. And the corners, what I like to do is, see, when I cut it at an angle like that, it gave us a little flap. So I take and put a little bit of glue on each side of the flap, and then a little bit of glue inside of it, and then I'm going to take it and pull. I'm going to start at the corner and go this way, and it'll push that down. Let me use this so I don't get glue all over my fingers. A little bit too much glue. A little bit more glue in here. Check it, and everything looks okay. Throwing stuff off my desk. Alright, now we're going to continue this way. how it worked out. Just going to put something under here to keep it straight. And this part right here is the only thing that I'm not liking. I mean, it's still, you could tell that it's there. But I don't know that we can do anything about it. I'm just being a little bit too particular. Alright. Now, you can get your letters.